Democrats in the U.S. have long relied on the Hispanic vote, but that's been changing as more of those voters throw their support behind conservative lawmakers. Joining me to discuss this trend from the Latino conservative podcast, Andrew Alvarez. Andrew, thanks so much for being here. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. This is President Trump's support among Hispanic voters. You see, 2016, it was around 28%. In 2020, it rose to 35%. The question I always ask when we're presenting this kind of a topic, if President Trump and his supporters are widely branded as racist, then why do we see these numbers? Why are we seeing this increase?
See, that has a couple of different meanings to me, different answers to me. In fact, I myself have been labeled a racist because I am a Trump supporter and was a Trump supporter. And I think the answer to that would be along the lines of just some of the hypocrisy that we've seen as Latinos and what Trump has said as opposed to what the Democratic Party has been saying. You know, it's the same thing.
Understood. Okay. Will this support of conservatism stop now that President Trump is out of office?
Absolutely not. In fact, I actually converted to conservatism back during Obamacare when that happened. And I could see this trend going, it just snowballing because, you know, I took a trip not that long ago, actually, to one of the border towns in Mission, Texas. And even then, you know, when you would expect, you know, where there's obviously a highly Latino community there, you would see that just the trend of conservatism, even in the border towns, is increasing.
Interesting. Okay, so along those lines, do Latinos need to be more outspoken against illegal immigration in order to convince the rest of the country that, look, we're here in the Republican Party, we're growing our numbers here, we're here to stay?
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I tell everybody. I'm totally for 100% immigration legally. However, illegal immigration, I think that there has been a problem with that in the past. I've seen it growing up as a natural-born citizen of the United States, and even my parents were natural-born citizens of the United States. I've seen people come over illegally, and it's not just an economic thing. It's a safety thing as well, knowing that these people cross the border and the land that they have to go through, the mountains, and, you know, there's just a dangerous terrain. So not just an economic thing, but it's also a safety thing for the people that are actually crossing over.
Yeah, I agree. There seems to be not a lot of concern for those individuals, for these kids that are making these ridiculously long journeys and risking their lives. And obviously, the parents are risking their lives as well. Okay, so we just talked about what Latinos need to do. What can Republicans do to grow the number of Latinos that become conservatives?
I think the best thing that Republicans can do would be to support Latinos and reach out to Latinos. There's a lot of Latinos out there that are proud. And in our proudness, we are quiet, though. We don't speak out. And that's one of the main reasons why I started my podcast, because I've seen a lot of us, plenty of us, just sit around and do nothing and put our shoes on every day, go to work, and, you know, that was it. That was our life. There wasn't enough of us that would actually get up and stand for our rights. And I believe that all Republicans should encourage Latinos, and not just Latinos, everybody with the same ideologies to stand up for their voices, stand up for their rights. And as
I would travel around the country, at first it was only Cubans, you know, that sort of supported the Republicans. But I agree, little by little, more and more Latinos that are not Cubans are definitely supporting the Republican Party. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2022. Andrew Alvarez, we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Carly.